Today I'm at Tate Modern for the press view of Hilma af Klint and P.A. Mondrian. They both started out as landscape painters and ended up making spiritual abstract work. Let's go inside and see what it's like. Okay, so here we are in the exhibition, and let's just have a little glimpse through it first of all before we do anything else. A bit of a talk going on there, but we'll come back in here and have a proper look around in a moment. Let's crack it off in this first room here. So as I mentioned outside, both of them began their careers as academically trained landscape painters in the late 19th century, before developing radically new models of painting in the 20th century. Although they didn't know each other or the other's work, the exhibition explores how they both developed the possibilities of abstract art, moving away from the conventions of representation they were taught. The vibe of some of these pics. So these would be the landscape ones they started out with. Actually rather beautiful, aren't they? That's Hilma af Klint. Very nice indeed. Actually heavily oiled, heavily painted. Rather nice. This is another Hilma af Klint. There's something like 250 paintings in this exhibition, so masses of pictures. Beautiful colour of the sky. I love that about oil paints. You get these gorgeous colours you just don't get with other paint. Some more paintings over here inspired. So these are the Mondrians. Oh wow, look at that. What a beautiful painting. Look at that. Look at that thickly painted sky and those thickly painted trees. That's really wonderful, actually. Look at that. And this is a much more kind of more scratched surface kind of landscape painting. I love those pink skies again. Oh no, that Mondrian is much more sort of indicative of what the abstract work became like later. It's like a weird face. Intriguing. So during their career, new technologies such as the microscope, radiography and photography were challenging human perception. Evidence of worlds invisible to the human eye catalysed shifts across science, spirit and the arts. So I think basically that helped them both become more spiritual in what they did. And they made these paintings that were more forced with spirituality. Oh, that's a Mondrian actually. Oh, it's so similar to the Klint ones. Look at those little cows. I mean, it's getting more and more abstract already, isn't it? She studied at the Academy of Fine Arts in Stockholm, where she studied for 5 years. Women had only just begun to be accepted, and Mondrian studied at the Rijksacademie van Beeldende Kunsten in Amsterdam. Interesting, they both actually studied at these places. Right, this room is quite funky. It's got big, nice painting. By funky, I mean kind of overwhelming and exciting. What everybody says, I keep using the word funky again. Right, evolution. This room brings together works by both artists, exploring the theme of spiritual and artistic evolution. They both experiment with symbolism through their choice of motif, colour and form. Okay, quite interesting. So I'm saying Mondrian kept going to this artist community in a Dutch province of Zeeland, and I think the things there, the sort of seascapes he painted there with the sort of lines and the towers, very much led him to his abstract paintings. This is actually rather interesting. It's very much like a kind of pointillist, like a Signac painting. I really like those Signac paintings. Look at those colours, beautiful. It's always interesting to see these guys before they went abstract what they did. There's another P.A. Mondrian, June landscape. That's a big painting. Always interesting to see how these things are produced. Look, it's not actually torturedly put together. Not nice, loose, big, fat brush strokes, especially down here. You can see these big, sweeping strokes. I'm always interested, you look at these things and they're not agonised with trauma, are they? They're quite fun and loose. This is a triptych here. This is a sort of meant to be like a sort of healing, heading towards spirituality. I guess the one in the centre is this sort of mega spiritual version of it. Kind of funky and mad, picture funky because it's got beautiful colours and it's kind of weirdly striking. Those eyes in the centre, like sort of half like a sort of mad aphid. Mondrian wrote of this painting, it's not so bad, but I'm not there yet. The figures represent the stages in evolution from the physical to the spiritual realm. They're promoted in theosophy. Look at this. So this is a lighthouse at Västergården, which I guess is this sort of artist commune place you'd go to. Again, I don't know what I like about that. Look, I mean, there's loads of things that are so carefully painted. Look at those lovely brush strokes. And those little chunks of paint there. This is what you want to be inspired by, those lovely kind of chunks of paint. Gets you quite excited. The red cloud, look again, see this is not a nice, that's like a landscape, but it's already quite abstracted, isn't it? This is made in a village near where he grew up. It was a pencil drawing, probably a preliminary sketch. Suggests Mondrian painted the work in his studio. Interesting. Like a lot of landscape artists are not actually necessarily out there in the open. They do something and then come back. Look at that crazy cloud. Beautiful pink. Again, oil paint. It's just miraculous, the colours you can get from it. That's rather wonderful, that painting. It's loose and sort of wild. Oh, look at this. Yeah, I mean, you can see it's such a fantastic colourist, wasn't he, Mondrian? It's amazing. I mean, it's pink orange with a hint of blue. It's sort of almost grey, actually, in the background. Almost grey and pink. It's wonderful, wonderful colours. Just really wonderful if you had that moment to look at every day. Right, then over here we've got this big piece, which must be by Hilmar af Klint, as I say it. It's rather nice, isn't it? Trying to get that on the screen all together. Very cool. Very cool because it's just quite fun to look at all the different pieces. I love this wiggles in that. Wiggles are cool. Come on down here. I think this is also meant to be a sort of progression of spirituality as well.
Yeah, I think there's bigger ones, but the thing is...
Paintings in the temple. The WS7 Painted Star Series, Group 6. The evolution of part of the paintings for the temple, which af Klint referred to as her greatest commission. And between 1906 and 1915, she created works that she believed were commissioned by her spiritual guide, Amaliel, one of the 5 guides or high masters, beings thought to exist in a higher plane of consciousness who communicated with af Klint and her spiritual collective. The 5 are in Swedish Defen. The commission eventually consisted of 193 works in several series, many of which are displayed in this exhibition. Absolutely fascinating. So she was really interesting. So it's quite interesting if these were produced through her spiritual guide. So if I look at evolution, you've got like a dog, black dog to a white dog with like sort of ram horns. And you've got these snakes. And a man and a woman, or Jesus and Mary. Quite intriguing, actually. Writing about this series, af Klint described how humanity first descends to the coarsest form of the material before being able to expand its view. This idea is illustrated in the 5th painting of the series, with human souls in the body of a dog. And it goes into a snail. After that, the soul embarks on its journey upwards. Fascinating. Right, this is Metamorphosis. The depiction of flowers in this room demonstrate each artist's close observation of nature and its biodiversity. It's interesting, these are Mondrian flowers. Look at these, look at this one, that is stunning. A wonderful painting. A watercolour, look at that. Absolutely brilliant. the way, especially here, these bits in the corner overlapped with each other. Look at that, what a genius oil painting, I mean watercolour painting, sorry. Just so beautifully overlapped. That's what makes it so wonderful. And then this one, completely different, far more controlled and exact. The other one's so much better, frankly, but this is quite certainly stunning with those blues. Around here, these are these by. These are, oh man, these are also Mondrian. Loads and loads of flower paintings. I have no idea how many of these he did. Look at that, with those like a drawing. It's like a drawing almost with ink. Look at that, dying sunflowers. Mondrian's paintings of dying sunflowers and chrysanthemums drew on Vincent van Gogh's paintings of wilting sunflowers. Look at that, that's a lovely painting. And you can see they was just painting. I don't know how many of these he did a day. Look at that amazing drawing. No idea he did so many of these pictures. Absolutely wonderful. Look at that amazing one there. And then Hallmark also did these. So these are flower paintings as far as I can see. These are a bit more madly controlled, aren't they? Look at that, rather beautiful though. Look at that little one there. With a stamp on it. Man, that's really tiny. This little one here. They're a bit more like, kind of like actual classical botanical drawings, I'd say. Not quite as, oh, lovely bit of a sort of rose there. Not quite as, what do you say, not quite as loose as the others. Oh, those poppies. And that is exacting, isn't it? Very interesting. And these are back to Mondrian again. Oh wow, look at these. You can see there, that's drifting towards more of his like abstract sort of experience. Look at that, it's so cool. All those apples just floating like circles. Oh, look at that beautiful drawing. Look at that, absolutely stunning drawing of, I guess, a rose. Really nicely done with those cross hatchings. And then that is falling apart more into like a sort of abstract drawing. Oh, I think I've seen some of these before. These are really beautiful as well. Again, his colours are so controlled. Absolutely stunning. These paintings are really, really good. Really, make you think about the simplicity. Look at those two blues and then the whites. Absolutely stunning painting. So the tree became a focal point for Mondrian and Af Klint. Mondrian painted a series of trees between 1908 and 1911, and Af Klint spent 2 years working on the Tree of Knowledge from 1930. So another nice, interesting, loosely painted tree. Sometimes it's very carefully painted, sometimes it's loose, but look, that is tempera on cardboard. It's using the same technique as he's using in the watercolours with the blocks of colour being placed on top of each other, which is nice. This one, I'm sure I've seen this one before. Once again, he's got the colours magnificently organised. Just red and blue. So simple. So unbelievably striking. Just want to go home. I actually want to go home. Let's paint some pictures with two colours. Almost the same as his. Quite amazing. And this is obviously getting more abstracted suddenly. Turns from what it was into something more. Again, the colours, interesting. I've always got a bit cutesy colours there. The greens and the browny oranges. Still got big, quite heavy lines. The lines are a bit almost too heavy in that picture. It was intriguing. Oh no, this must be Af Klint. Ones of the tree of knowledge. Quite weird again, isn't they? Strange stuff. Oh, there you got strange, like people together in the centre of these things. Sort of symbolically talking about birth. Oh, weird, almost a bit like tarot cards. They're a bit kind of esoteric in their experience. Oh, and it's weird, it's a tree coming out of the ground, but the ground is always more dominated than the tree is itself. Quite interesting. It's a good quote up here as well. I'll read that. Those granted the gift of seeing more deeply can see beyond form and concentrate on a wondrous aspect, hiding behind every form, which is called life. And dreaming. Right, strolling up. Heading into, what are these? This is dynamic colour. That's interesting. Wandering affluent experimented in distinct ways with a dynamic relation of form and colour to express the universal. Oh wow, this is cool. Look at that, it's such a fantastic little painting. Look at those little blocks shimmering with each other. Look at it's like light. And the waves, look at just in that top left hand corner, those two join and touch. Very cool. So it's not quite ordered. Why in the top left hand corner? Interesting. Oh wow. Look at this one. Pierre Mondrian. This is brilliant as well. Look at that. So subtle, those reds are slightly different each time, as are the yellows. So this is checkerboard compositions in 1918 and 1919. Set out a regular grid but created irregularities by using colour. Interesting. Interesting. Upset the grid by using colour. A wonderful idea. Oh yeah, because the grid dissipates in your eyes with the colours because you're dragged around the wrong ways. That's so clever. One should refer to the deconstruction of the natural and a reconstruction according to the spirit. Well, absolutely brilliant painting. And it's just so wonderful. And this is one of the more classic ones. You can see how that came out, those flower pictures almost. The flower pictures that fall apart. And then you've got these shuddering sort of blobs and crosses. Look at that, especially when you zoom right in. How cool is that? Lovely. Oh, this one doesn't do it quite for me as much as the other ones. Not a bad painting. I don't like the colours as much in that. These must be Afflint pieces. I quite like that crazy wiggly line escaping around the edge of it. That's quite intriguing. I didn't realise they've got little words in there, haven't they? The words is quite a part of the letters. They're quite weird in a good way in these pictures. Weird is quite a fair description. It's a wonderful Mondrian. Look at the colours in that. Pink and blue. Man, that is amazing. I'm sure I've seen that in a book before, but in real life, absolutely zings off the wall, man. Absolutely stunning. Just grey, orange, blue and pink, but absolutely brilliant. Really interesting. Gotta say, the Mondrians are blowing me away in this exhibition. They have good eye-catching ones in reality. This little corridor is called World Religions. Afflint created Series 2, a group of works on different religions in a reduced abstract language of segmented circles. Visualizes various religions at points in their development. Extraordinary. A mad idea. So a starting picture. Current standpoint of the Mahatmas. Number 2b, the birth of Jesus. Number 3a, Buddha's standpoint in worldly life. That is absolutely mad and beautiful. The Jewish standpoint of the birth of Jesus. And Buddha's standpoint in worldly life. Man, look at the tiny little crosses and the lines around it. Quite extraordinary. Just want to see that Barbara Hepworth exhibition in the Tate St Albans actually. It's the standpoints of Judaism and Heathendom. This must be the Mohammedan standpoint. Teachings of Buddhism and Christian religion. Absolutely mad idea to come up with these. And it's quite interesting, even Barbara Hepworth, she was so kind of spiritual, thinking about spiritual things. These days we just have none of that, do we? There's no spirituality in anything. It's just kind of crushing commercialism. You come and see these things and see all these people who are just sort of trying to fight these spiritual things to get more out of life. It's quite interesting as we seem so weirdly distant from that. Oh, this is called New Old Geometries. It's from the Swan series dating from 1914 when F. Klimt was living in Stockholm. Much of the world was consumed by the First World War. She claimed no longer to be directed by her spiritual guides. There's a shift between figurative and abstract. Two swans in conflict metamorphose into a series of interlinked cubes. Really weird. Look at that. Actually, genuinely quite disturbing when you look at it. Look at that cube. It's got mad jets of fire or water, or gold bursting out of it as it spins in some crazy 360-degree moment. And you've just got the two mad birds attacking each other. I feel a bit weird, blowing my head apart. You know what, these weird pictures have quite a strange spiritual effect, like sort of doorways to another dimension. That's weird, that one would be sucked right in if you're not careful, because you've got this very pale yellow, blue and red section to it. Be sucked right into the centre of that. I remember reading these books about how out-of-body experiences by going through doorways. And these are a bit like almost doorways into some out-of-body experience. It's got a weird relevance to target paintings, and there's the snail. I must relate to how she said that was like a lower form of sort of humanity. Yeah, these are thought defines the universe in geometrical figures. Hilma af Klint, strange comment. There was still Hilma af Klint. Oh man, look at these weird buildings. These are, look, it's a series, but look at them. Like little exploded houses. Extraordinary little painting. This one like stars flowing under it. And that red block just sort of cordoned off with the white and the black. More of them. Do each of these have some kind of spiritual reference to it? It seems like quite intriguing. Visually, I like this yellow one here. Fascinating extension. I suppose what works quite well about the two of these is they open up different ways you see each other. The Mondrians you can see as more of a esoteric spiritual experience, and af Klimt you can see more of a visual experience in a way, so they do work quite well with each other. So this one is called Space and Rhythm. Getting to more classic Mondrian territory here. In 1914, Mondrian is interested in how space can be brought to life through the experience of painting. This room features some of his neoplastic paintings comprising horizontal and vertical lines. Primary colours in grey, white and black. Look at that one. I didn't realise that was red, blue, black, yellow and grey. Interesting, it's got a weird... Why would you paint that on a weird bit of board that juts up? It's really weird, almost detracts from the experience of what you've got, but the greys are rather good. I didn't realise just how much different greys there were in these pictures, in all honesty. The greys are really different. The whites are all similar, but the greys are all slightly different. Actually, no variation there were in these. PM21, look at that. This little crazy signature at the bottom. It's a little sculpture over there I've never seen before. This one, composition grid. Oh yeah, that's one of these crazy ones that really works on your eyes. It looks like there's a white space in between each of these little crosses there. It looks like in real life there's a white space. It's almost like it explodes in front of your eyeballs the whole time as you look at it, bursting out at you. Definitely worth coming to see that. What's happening over here in the sculpture? Stage model. Interesting. Didn't know you ever did any kind of stage models. Look at that, the black and white shapes of people. Quite intrigued. What happens as we come through here? The other part of it. Lozing's composition, so I'll just clap on the end of the chit chat next to Lozing's composition with 8 lines in red. He's still got it weirdly here on a background, a big heavily bordered background, another background than the actual canvas. Just the way he framed it originally, which is genuinely bizarre. And you can still get that white sort of image pounding in the crosses of the blacks. It's weird on there. Oh, then you got one with blue. Oh, so controlled. Really interesting. Still want to go home and paint some pictures like those really beautiful blue flowers. Everybody's swarming back out from the talk now. There's a lot more people galloping around somewhere. This is... oh, there we go. There's some blue down that bottom corner. Interesting. I wonder how he moved from one to the other. 37 to 42, it says that painting. That was like 5 years. Intriguing. I've got one up on the wall here, which is kind of cool. I like that one. I don't like it as much as the others necessarily. So I think this is actually the last room we're into now, but you sort of lead into it when there's still other rooms to go. This is all Hilma af Klint, and she says, when the future is good, my mission, if it succeeds, is of great significance to humankind if I'm able to describe the path of the soul from the beginning of the spectre of life to its end. The 10 largest, part of the paintings of the temple, is a body of works af Klint believed was commissioned by the spiritual guides. They represent the stages of life from childhood to old age. She painted these in a few months. It's fascinating. I think she wanted to almost put them in like a sort of giant temple of her own. It's really noisy here at the moment because I've just got talks just finished, so everybody's in here chatting away. Interesting. I'm not sure which way around it's meant to go. I'm not sure if I'm going the right route. Nicely, loosely painted. Intriguing, that looks like it's got text in it. I think it's fascinating and intriguing. Got a bit of a weird thing to say, but it was kind of Sigma Polka vibe to it for me, in that you got this kind of mad, otherworldly sort of transformative experience. Look at that! I don't know. I wish I knew which was the beginning and the end of this. Because look at that one with the squares. It's so different to all the others, which are all much more organic. This one's much more formed. Which is this? 10 lines. That's number 10. Oh, that is okay. So that is intriguing enough. That is old age. That one. Why is old age squares? What's this one? This is adulthood. Oh no, wait, no, I think that is old age. And this one is adulthood. Oh, that adulthood. It's dizzy, eh? Yeah, that must be adulthood. Very intriguing. It's weird to paint all these sort of symbolic pictures of things. And quite fascinating. Can't work out. You're able to read these texts, or is the text more just like sort of pretty patterns? Oh, there's more adulthood. What do we get around here? This is adulthood again. Adulthood. Youth. Sort of more colourful, exciting. This must be another youth. Come through here. These must be, I feel really dizzy, must be more like childhood, these ones. Yeah, childhood and childhood. Absolutely fascinating. Really weird room.
She is wanted to
Weird room to go around.
not out the
Quite fascinating. Weirdly enough, feels almost quite claustrophobic, isn't it? Not in a bad way, but they're quite big. They're so big, they feel slightly sort of oppressive on you, in almost a bad way, not a good way. Strange room. Let's put the GoPro on. Actually, no, let's keep it out here. It's horrible to widen the view of everything. But look, there you go. See, going around. It's quite nice to go around in the order then we go. Around we go. To like the old age section. Everybody's really rocking it up in this room. It seems to be one they're getting most excited in. Beyond the Mondrians, which is intriguing. Here we go. From the childhood. Childhood.
yes.
Youth. The majority is an adult. So let's try and get back a bit so we can get this more properly. Adult, and old age. The two old ages, they're quite different. Quite intriguing, aren't they? The difference in those old ages. It's an extraordinary room. Quite fascinating. So I don't think this room is the last room, and the other one's the last room. But just sort of almost naturally come to this one after you've been to the last room. So this is called the Ether. And this has got somebody else called Defem. What is this phenomenon, you ask? Well, beloved, is that which we want to call the secret of growing. Interesting. So this room, you're now in the Ether. So it says in all. Taking its tone from the early 19th century view that an invisible energy connected everything visible. That's probably true. This is a place where discoveries, beliefs, and creativity converge. Explore objects and images reflecting the cultural context and creative circles that surround it, up into Mondrian. Right. A little look. Oh man. Look at these. You've got amazing Mondrian pictures again. Look at that. It's quite an intriguing thing because the Mondrians are so much better pieces of art, as it were, you could say. But in some odd way, these two different artists do quite complement. It makes you enjoy the artistry of the Mondrians and the crazy sort of spirituality, symbolism of Klimt. They did work rather well together. I mean, look at these stunning shadows, like stunning Mondrian drawings. You can see that abstraction coming on. And these must be out of Klimt, mustn't they? You begin to recognise the kind of style. These crazy little bits in the top left-hand corner of these sort of detailed geometric things. A lovely painting up there, which I'm assuming is a Mondrian. No, maybe I'm completely wrong. Oh, sorry, Sea Jeans at Gomberg, that's by Jan Torop. Right, so I guess some of the things in these rooms are not by those two. So this is Mondrian drawing. Surprised just how diverse his stuff is. Some of it's very organised, some of it's much more loose. That's quite interesting. Composition trees, like a sort of abstracted tree picture. Intriguing. So it's almost his work on the trees pushed it into. Mostly that is composition trees, but you wouldn't necessarily know. It's so cubist, isn't it, in its way? These beautiful greys, taking away the colours really, so I can focus on the form and the shape. It's fascinating. So that's composition trees, and then you see the self-portrait of Mondrian. Interesting. Self-portrait. And then you've got this one. Composition number 4. This painting, Mondrian turned his attention away from the tree motif to focus on his immediate surroundings. Advertisements on the facades of buildings in Paris. Interesting. I believe the urban environment, especially classical architecture, followed the eternal laws of nature, and this could be expressed through his modern approach to painting. Nature, or that which I see, inspired me, but I want to come as close as possible to the truth, and thus abstract everything until I arrive at the outward foundation of things. Extraordinary comment. Quite fascinating. It's rather nice blue painting of flowers here. Interesting. Quite fascinating. There's loads more stuff in this room. This is a Hilma af Klint spiritual diary, which is quite fascinating. It's not in English, unfortunately. It's quite fascinating to read so much. Sorry about the GoPro and the way of it all. Oh, wow, what are these? Oh, a notebook. Man, so much work these people put into what they did. A model of the temple from af Klint's notebook. Smeghet visualises af Klint's temple and imagine the site in which to experience her work. Absolutely fascinating. We've got another mad model over here. This must be anonymous. New York studio reconstruction. Mondrian's studio was both working space and living example of his world view. This must be what apparently is Mondrian's living space. So it's still in this room, the Ether. These are by Anne Besant. Somebody else for there. Oh, kind of interesting, aren't they? Look at that crazy exploding piece. Looks like sort of watercolour. Oh, this is quite interesting. Thought forms. Interesting. I'm not sure what that's about, but I like the different colours into it. Oh, here we go. Maybe these are more kind of like sketch of the forms of Amelia Ananda Gorgon Gregor. These must be the spiritual guides. In this notebook, af Klint visualises the thought forms of her different spiritual guides. The signs plus and cross are written in all of her notebooks. She explained all works which should be opened 20 years after my death by the above sign. She was sealing her work for the future. She felt the world was not yet ready for their message to humanity. Isn't it fascinating? That must be the shapes of the spiritual guides. Fascinating. Yes, portrait of Helen Blavatsky was found among Mondrian's possessions on his death. Blavatsky co-founded the Theosophical Society with former US military officer Henry Steele Olcott, New York. Interesting. She wanted to move to India with the intention to form the nucleus of the universal brotherhood of humanity without distinction of race, creed, sex, caste or colour. She's got this book here, Helen Blavatsky, The Secret Doctrine, a synthesis of science, religion and philosophy. Fascinating. Interesting. Come over here. These are these woodcarvers by. Actually, these are more kind of, you can almost say more arty than the pictures. Look, they're quite loose, quite explosive kind of watercolours. Rather nice, actually. It's still got sort of hint of flower. It's got like a hint of universe. This is this one. Intriguing. Letter to Rudolf Steiner. Yeah, Mondrian letter to Rudolf Steiner. Alongside anthroposophy cosmology, Steiner stated to grasp the world, look into your inner self, to grasp the human being, look into the world. Steiner's anthroposophy adapted to Darwin's ideas on evolution within a spiritual context. Particularly dated to Ernst Haeckel's revitalized evolutionary model. It's interesting. Evolution is something beyond the physical things. Quite interesting. These are quite interesting here. These are photographs. Af Klint took other pictures as a way of sharing them. So it's like using new technologies to share her work. Got more.
So cute in the maths with me.
Yes, in this area, prominent physicist Sir Oliver Lodge was simultaneously pursuing scientific research and exploring cult phenomena.
Oh, sorry, Dan.
The now largely forgotten etherospace is a central component of the worldview of this time. Understood to fill all space with electromagnetic waves such as visible light, X-rays and radio waves. Ether was virtually synonymous with space in the later years of the 19th century. Concepts of space and matter were transformed by scientific developments. which were popularisation actually through translation of books and circulation of journals, popular, scientific and occult. I love the way they mixed occult and scientific. They weren't so bothered about them being separate things. Everything's so organised these days. Look, this is that fantastic mock-up of Mondrian's house again. I love it on the doorways. It's got his little pictures everywhere. So cool. Mad house. I love his little his little glasses on his table. Look at it, surrounding this white room with these colours. Absolutely insane. Right, and we're going through to this, which is the last room we're coming to, even though I think obviously the 10 lines is meant to be a proper last room. It's actually rather interesting as well. This room is called Conferences. Much of this room is dedicated to a series that Af Klint named Parsifal. Sounds like it's from Harry Potter. Which may be titled after the opera by Richard Wagner. The subtitles of individual works include Ether and Astra, terms used by the leaders of the Theosophical Society, Bessington Charles W. Ledbetter. They refer to unseen forces can only be accessed by gaining higher consciousness. Af Klint's occult beliefs became a framework to experiment beyond the limits of her artistic training. Intriguing, actually, so it pushed her forwards. But look, these are kind of cool. Because I like them. They're a bit like, oh man, the guy who paints the squares. Names are absolutely forgotten. Interesting, aren't they? And visually they're quite very pleasing. Look at that, and that is great. And you've got that sort of burst of sort of melting watercolour in there with the squares around it. And that one here. Oh, look at that stunning Mondrian, another one. Just so simple, these two colour contrasts. I'm just obsessed to go home and try painting. Look, we've just got three blues in that. That turquoisey blue on the left, that light blue and the yellow. Oh man, these pictures are just fascinating. To go home and try painting something like that. Look at these, these must be Af Klint again. Oh look, these are even, they've still got little tiny things in the centre of these squares, but actually rather like squares when they're just squares. What's that saying? Red at text I find really bizarre in these things. Tapu. Especially as it's written in a very old-fashioned style. And then you've got a nice Mondrian up on the wall at the end. Interesting. Really interesting. Okay, so overall, I actually think this exhibition was absolutely stunning. Really, really enjoyed it, actually. Both the Mondrians and the Af Klint. But, really interesting. Especially amazed by just how good those Mondrian paintings are. They are just wonderful. Those Mondrian paintings, the simplicity of the colour, almost prefer the Mondrian paintings, the early one, actually, to his, more famous constructions. The simplicity. And those early simple colour paintings are astonishing. 100% recommend this exhibition, absolutely fascinating. Hopefully it will blow your mind, it does blow mine. So, as ever, please like and subscribe. It makes actually a huge difference if you like the videos, as then YouTube pumps them out further. So please like and subscribe to this and my other channel, Travel Dog, for fun films about food and travel. And as ever, I would say, bye bye.